Hey, patrol members. Welcome to part B of the Mysteries of the Mojave Patrol Halloween Special. Now, we're going to have a special guest star tonight. He should be arriving any minute. But, he had to come a long way. I'm sure he's going to be a little tired. So, we'll start with this. This is one of those cigars that I purchased a couple weeks ago that were really dry, right? And what I did was I bought a humidor pack. It's you know what? That tired old knife is pretty dull. We're gonna use a cutter. There we go. Nice clean cut. So what I did is they sell these humidifying packs at the cigar store. You put them in your humidor and it keeps your cigars, moist. Keeps them drying out. So what I did is I bought one and I put it inside the cellophane package that all these cigars came in, and I sealed it up, and I've left it there for a couple of weeks. We're going to see if it's different. Mm. That is really different. That's a lot better. That is a lot better. Okay. This will be good for this evening. Stay tuned for the intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the Tales and Mysteries of the Mojave Patrol Halloween Special. Hope you like the intro. As I told you guys, going to have a special guest. It's going to take him a while to get here. Well, it's taken him a while to get here, but you know what? He should be arriving soon. Any second now. He's coming a long way. Oh, I think this is him. I think he's here. Okay, guys, give me a second. I gotta go meet him. Okay? Hang on. Okay. Oh! That was him. He's just parking over here. He should be coming over here any minute. So we're going to start out with a whiskey review, and it's a famous brand. I know you've heard of it. Trust me. Oh, here he comes. Oh, this is great. You're going to love him. I really appreciate him showing up. You know, it's been a long time since I've seen him. A really long time. Oh, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Okay, you might recognize his voice. You know who it is. It's the famous robot from Forbidden Planet.
For your convenience, I am monitored to respond to the name.
Don't worry. Everybody knows your name. Everybody knows your name. We're cool. We're cool. You just rest right there. I know you've come a long way. I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're doing fine. So, he sent on some whiskey ahead, and I already trust me. You're gonna love this. Here it is. Get a load of this, guys. It's an old bottle of genuine Ancient Rocket bourbon. Oh my God, it is pretty good. It is pretty good stuff. I'm going to review here in a second. So hang on, let me get the lid off. Robbie, his instrumentality isn't that great. There you go. You got it? You got it? Okay. Why don't you try some of that stuff?
Pardon me, sir.
Yeah, that stuff.
Stuff?
Yes. Yeah.
Quiet, please. I am analyzing.
Oh, my God.
Yes, relatively simple alcohol molecules with traces of fusel oil.
I knew it wasn't complicated. Here, why don't you hand it back to me, Robbie? Thank you. Thank you. Well, thanks for leaving me some.
Can I be of service, sir?
I know you're a little tired, Robbie. Do me a favor, and why don't you nip inside and whip us up some coffee? Thank you. Thank you very much. You're right through that door. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take Ancient Rocket bourbon, right? It says it's bottled in bondage. They don't make this stuff anymore. Okay. The bubble winked at me and said, "I'll miss you, brother, when you're dead." Not much of a hug. Not much of a hug. Let me try it again. Now let's see. Ancient Rocket bourbon and a cigar do not really complement each other. It's not terrible, but it's not like our last offering, which was actually pretty good together. But this is a blonde cigar, a Connecticut leaf. It's not as flavorful as robust as a Maduro cigar, but I will tell you that this cigar now is much better than um, they were when I first got them. And apparently my rehydrating, um, well, not my rehydrating thing. Actually, I looked up on the internet to find out how to rehydrate them, but apparently rehydrating works. Yes. So let's check this out. What do we smell? Mm. Kind of a sharp smell. I smell a little Buna N, a little phosphate ester, just a hint of rapid tap. A hint of rapid tap. It was aged in liquid boron, packed in a vacuum. Yeah, that's about it. It's not very complicated at all. Um, mm, that fusel oil really stands out. Mm. Yes, so while the coffee's brewing, um, I just accidentally flicked ashes in the candle. Didn't I just tell you last week that that was a faux pas to flick ashes in a candle? I said that last week, didn't I? And here I went and did it. Red, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get ashes in you. I apologize. I apologize. I know. I know. I know. I won't do it again. I promise. I promise. It was totally an accident. We cool? Okay. So anyway, yeah, Red was he was a little upset by that, but you know, it's Halloween. You know, Red's brother's coming to visit in a week or so, so you'll see Red's brother. Um, he'll be up here, right where Jack is right now. So yeah, the coffee's cooking. Yeah, I can see him in there making coffee. So oh, I have two stories, two more stories. Um, yeah, two more stories for tonight. So don't. What?
Coffee is ready, sir.
Okay, I'll be right in to get it. I'll be right in to get it. You'll have to excuse me for a minute. Uh, I have to. I have to go in and get my coffee. Mm. Genuine Asian rocket bourbon. Mm. Man. Well, let's get on with the story. Had to be about 4 years ago. I was home by myself. My wife was up visiting my youngest daughter and her husband. They live about 200 miles from us. And I had to work, of course. This is before I retired. So I had just gotten home from work. And it was around January. It was pretty chilly. So anyway, I had made dinner and, finished. I was cleaning up the kitchen. I threw stuff in the trash. And I had onions cut up in the trash. And I said, you know what? I don't want them to smell the house. I'll take them out and put them in the trash in the backyard. So I'm taking the trash out. And I put them in a trash can. And it was a beautiful, cold, crystal clear night. Crystal clear. And I looked up in the sky. I had my sky tracker where you can, it's an app on your phone where you can look at the stars. And I'm getting ready to shine it up there to see what stars are up there. And I see these two lights. And they're traveling just like this from the southwest to the northeast. And they're going like this, fairly slowly moving across the sky. Two lights, just like that. And I watch them disappear. And then as I glance up, there's two more lights. And then two more lights. And then two more lights. Then I realize there's like 15 of these lights. And they're moving in twos across the sky. Dead silent. Brilliantly bright lights. Making no noise. There were no anti-collision lights on regular airplanes. And I thought, holy crap, these are bona fide UFOs. I know it sounds kind of goofy, but that's what I was seeing. And there was a whole stream of them. And this is long before Starlink. Long before. So then my mind is telling me, maybe it is Starlink. But then all of a sudden, two of the lights are moving, and they stop, and they turn, and they start heading southeast. Two turn southeast, two turn southeast, two go northeast, two go northeast, two turn southeast. And I'm saying to myself, Bill, you got to run inside and get the camera. So I ran inside, I got my camera, I came out here, turned it on, dead battery. Ran inside, got my phone, came out and started filming. And I filmed them for about between 5 and 10 minutes. And I caught him flying in the air. Now, unfortunately, the camera footage, because it's my cell phone, and the cell phone wasn't that great, is not that good. But I did get them on film. Also, at the same time, I'm filming them. In the background, you can see a regular airliner moving in the opposite direction, lights blinking, right? And you can hear the engine. But these things are traveling directly over my backyard, dead silent. Then 4 came by, and finally just one, and it turned and went southeast. From the southwest to the southeast, from the southwest to the northeast. I watched it for 10 or 15 minutes at least, maybe longer. I was totally overwhelmed. I went inside and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. What did I just see? What did I just see? The next day on the news, heard nothing. No one reported anything. No one said anything. And I thought, am I the only person who saw these in California? Well, to the northeast of me, about 10 miles away, lived my buddy Wally. And he stepped out in his front yard to have a cigarette and looked up and saw those lights. And he was in awe. They were passing directly over his house. And he got his mother and his sister outside. And they were like, whoa, what are those things? But I didn't learn this until almost a month later when we were together. And I said, hey, Wally, I got some videos of UFOs. And he said, what? And I showed him the video, and he's like, oh my God. Was this on a Friday night? I said, yeah, they're the same ones I saw fly over my house. So I knew it wasn't crazy. I know my buddy Wally had seen them. But here's what I'm going to do. Right around here someplace, I'm going to poke in the video. Now, I don't know how this is going to work. But you're seeing the two UFOs, 2 by 2, right? And I'll see if I can enhance it. But here they are. They're flying. And they're going from the south west to the northeast. I don't remember if I have any of them turning, but you're going to see them. And then you're going to see the jet fly the opposite direction, and you'll hear it in the video. You'll hear it in the video. So how this is going to work is I'm going to try to replace what you're seeing, well, the video I'm taking now, so just the voice remains. I'm going to try to edit it so it matches the video. But I'm going to try really hard. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. So here it is again, the two UFOs, or UFOs in groups, flying from southwest to northeast. And you'll see them. And I'll poke in some other video of the jet going the other way, but you'll see the jet as it flies from east to west with its collision lights blinking, and you see the difference. You'll see the difference in them.
I'm trying to hold the camera as still as possible. I don't have any binoculars to look at it with. 4 of them flew northeast, and these seem to be turning. Here's another set. Here's another one. These appear to be turning to the east. Now there is a normal jet. See how the lights are flashing? But these lights are not quite normal. I'm going to try to get a pair of there. There's another one. You can hear what appears to be a jet noise. I don't know if that's the engine burning, what you're seeing, or I don't know what it is. I've looked at it through a pair of binoculars, and it just seems to be some kind of a sphere. And then it will slowly just fade out and vanish. Now it seems to be flickering and descending. Now, if some people want to say they're flares, here's another one. Here they come again. This now makes about 10. Here's the third one. I have no clue what they are. They're flying in a formation, a triangle formation. It's not one thing. They're independently flown. Now this one is turning a different way. It is heading towards the north. And I'm following it, and I'm going to hold the camera still so you can see it move. I want you to think it's a star, and I'm just holding us on a star. Is a normal aircraft. This thing doesn't have a zoom, unfortunately. But with the naked, you can see the lights blinking and the color. And I'm just using that as a comparison to the lights we saw earlier. And this one is flying east to west, probably headed towards LAX. But the other aircraft were moving southwest to northeast at what appears to be approximately the same altitude, much different color. And like I said, when I looked at them through binoculars, they looked like spheres.
So, did you enjoy it? Did you see it? Hopefully you liked it. And hopefully it was clear enough to see. I'll try to bump up the resolution. I don't know if I can do that. Oh, let's try this coffee. I got this coffee cup in a short time. I did some work for them. I did some construction work on one of his facilities. Anyway, this cigar goes better with coffee than it does the Ancient Rocket Bourbon. Let me just polish this off. Wow. Man, fusel oil, nothing better. Okay. I see dead people. Tragedy happens at the most unexpected time. I'm not trying to upset anybody. I can tell you right now that I have the utmost reverence for people who've passed. And in a way, I'm getting a little tired of it. I don't celebrate the Day of the Dead. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm kind of tired of all this dead people stuff. I'm tired of zombies. I'm tired of vampires. I'm tired of The Walking Dead, Day of the Dead. I'm really tired of that. I'm really tired of that. And the older you get, the more you'll understand this. So when I tell you the 3 stories I'm about to tell you, yeah, it's going to seem a little tragic. So here's what happened. I was laid off from a job in, it has to be damn near 20 years ago. And I'm not going to say where I work, but after loyal service, above and beyond the call of duty for 16 years, my severance from that company was $100. So, I got a part-time job at a nearby rifle range up in the local mountains. And I made okay money there. It didn't replace my salary, but it was better than no money. Anyway, I worked about 9 hours a day, Saturday and Sunday. Okay? And I started work. I left the house at 7. I had to be there by 9. It didn't take till 9. So I'm on my way to work at Stop at Jack in the Box, get a breakfast jack and a large Coke or a cup of coffee, and drive up to work. So one day I was running a little late. So I left the house, didn't take a shower, just threw my clothes on. I worked outside, so it didn't matter. And I was driving up in the mountains. Well, nature called. I had to stop and take care of business. So I pulled into a turnout. And if you're going to pull over to the side of the road in the state of California and you're going to take care of business, you better be out of sight of the road. Because if you're not, and the Highway Patrol or the Forest Service or the police see you, sex offender. Yes. Yes. I'm not joking. Didn't happen to me, but I know someone it happened to. And you're in that database. Public exposure. That's what they call it. So, Bill doesn't want that to happen to him. Because he knew someone it happened to. And let me tell you, it did not turn out well for that guy. The point is, I walked to the back of the turnout, and there was a big dirt berm, and I knew you could walk over the top, walk down the other side, and you'd be out of sight from the road. I get to the top of the berm, just start to look down. I look down, and there's a guy laying on the ground, all stretched out, kind of like this. You know, laying back like that. And I said, hey, buddy, are you okay? He wasn't okay, if you get my drift. So now I'm in a quandary. Here's this guy, a deceased guy, lying in a turnout off the side of the road. I'm supposed to be at work, but you have to do the right thing. You have to do the publicly responsible thing. I had to go report it. I drive down to the end of the canyon, and there was a brand new ranger station down there. By now it's like 8 o'clock, 8:30. I pull around to the back, that's where the entrance is, and I notice that it's open. I walk inside. Oh, please. Hang on. Sorry. Okay. I walk inside and there's two Forest Service people there, and a whole bunch of guys in suits and ties, men and women, dressed in really nice clothes. And I walk inside, and the ranger says, "I'm sorry, sir, we're closed." And I said, "I understand that. I understand you're having a tour, but I'll tell you what, this is very important." And she says, "Well, you're going to have to come back later." And I looked at her and said, "Okay, I'm sorry you're having a tour, but there's a dead guy up the street, and you're going to have to call the police." And everybody turns and looks at me. And the Forest Service officer goes, "Why don't you step back here with me?" And they take me into an office. And I explain the whole situation. And she says, "Can you go back up there and wait?" I said, "I don't have a problem doing that, right?" So I drive back up the hill, pull into the turnout, and I'm waiting there. Well, one of the guys I work with pulls up, and he says, "Hey, you have a car problem?" I said, "No, I just found a dead guy on the other side of the berm here." He's like, "You're kidding me." And he runs up and looks over the top, and he comes back, "You're not kidding." I said, "No, can you tell him I'm either not going to make it or I'm going to be really late?" "Well, we'll take care of you." And they take off. Little did I know that being responsible was going to turn into like almost a 12-hour ordeal. So I'm waiting there, and the Forest Service person shows up, and they look, and they said, "You didn't touch the body, did you?" And I said, "No, I've seen enough detective films to know that you don't do that." "Okay." Gets in a car and leaves. So who shows up? The Forest Service area supervisor, who I knew, the Azusa Fire Department, the Azusa PD, the Sheriff's Office, the Highway Patrol. They all show up. Now, I was asked no less than a dozen times if I touched the body. I was asked to reiterate my story no less than a dozen times to the powers that be. How did you find him? I was going to take. Had to take care of business. I stopped. I was going to go over the berm. I saw the guy. I came down and reported it. I was going to take care of business. I stopped. I was going to walk over the berm. Over and over and over and over again. Did you touch the body? No, I didn't touch the body. You touched the body? No, I didn't touch the body. You touched the body? No, I didn't touch the body. Seen enough police shows. Seen enough police shows. Seen enough police shows. Well, I want to cracker. Dead man. Dead man. I mean, it was just crazy, right? So finally, I asked the guy, one of the suits from Azusa PD. I mean, one of the cops from Azusa PD. I said the word suits, and here's why. And he says, "You can't leave till the suits show up." I said, "How long is that going to be?" So I don't know. So I waited. I found him around 8:30, 10:30, no suits. 11:30, no suits. 12:30, no suits. 1:30, no suits. But I'm continually being asked by all these cops that come and go, "How did you find the body? Did you touch the body?" I didn't do anything. So, we're all trying to be environmentally conscious. All of us. Right? Right? At one point, there were 10 vehicles all crammed in this little turnout parked along the way. Not one of those vehicles was shut off. Some of them sat there idling for hours. Just running. Just running. The only person that shut their vehicle off was a High Patrol motorcycle cop. He shut his bike off. But all the trucks, the Forest Service trucks, the High Patrol cars, the sheriff's cars, the fire department vehicles, they all sat there running. Finally, 4:30 in the afternoon rolls around. A plainclothes vehicle shows up. Two guys in suits come out. I still have their business cards. Hand me their cards. It's like, "Yeah, I'm Officer Johnson. This is Officer Johnson, no relation," you know, that type of thing. "What time did you find the body?" "Approximately 8:30, sir." "How did you find it?" "I was driving up the canyon and nature was calling. I pulled over the side of the road, and so I wouldn't get a ticket for public exposure. I was going behind the berm. When I got to the top of the berm, I saw the deceased. I turned around and came down and reported to the ranger station." "Did you touch the body?" "No, officer, I did not touch the body because I've seen enough police shows to know that you don't touch the body or disturb the crime scene." He says, "Man, you sound rehearsed." "Well, if it sounds rehearsed, sir, it's because I had to say this about 20 times. And you're number 21. So I had a pretty good opportunity to get it down pat so I could get it out quick." And they both looked at each other. "Okay, you can go now. If we need anything, we'll call you." Because everybody took my information. Now this time, people I work with are coming home. "Hey, Bill, it's still here?" "Yeah, still here." So if this happened to you, it could turn into an ordeal, but I implore you to do the right thing and report it. That was the second time I found a deceased person. The first time, epilogue. About 3 weeks later, there was a high patrolman that would come up to the range, and his name was Scott. And one day he's up there at the range, and he's in the range house, and I said, "Hey," he was one of the guys that stopped and was there. I said, "Hey, Scott, what did they ever find out about the guy?" Here's the tragedy. Well, anytime a person passes away like that, it's a tragedy, but this adds to it. He had no identification on him. Apparently, the summation is There is not quite a cliff face, but a very steep incline um, that goes up about 90 feet. And at the top of that is a flat area with a small copse of trees. And apparently, a lot of day workers would go up to the turnout at night, and they would walk up this water course to the left of it, and they'd go up there and drink beer. So this guy apparently is an undocumented worker. So he probably went up there with his buddies after a hard day of work at they went up there to drink beer, and what they think, because of the condition of his clothing, he walked to the edge to take care of business, and in the dark, walked right off. Probably had too much to drink. And his friends saw him and took his stuff and left him. Left him for me to find. That's the second time I found a deceased person. The first time I found a deceased person, I was living in El Monte. And I was working in the city of Industry. So every morning I would drive to the 605 south to the 60, and I would go to work, 60 west. So one morning I'm heading to work. It's summertime, so I was working 9 to 5:30. So it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I drive by a 7-Eleven. And in the planter in front of the 7-Eleven facing the street was this blonde guy wearing Levi's and a blue and white striped shirt. He's all curled up in the plants in front of the 7-Eleven. So I work all day. 5:30 rolls around, take my shower, clock out, hop in my car, drive home. It's starting to get, sun's going down, By the time I get up there, 6:30, drive by the 7-Eleven, the guy is still laying in the planter. What's it been? 9-10 hours? Almost. Pull into the 7-Eleven, walk over to the low cinder block wall that cuts the planter off from the parking lot. You can't see him from the parking lot. Look over the wall, and there's the guy. I swear to God, he could have been more than 16 or 17 years old. Put the back of my hand on him, cold as ice. Crap. Pre-cell phone days. Going to the 7-Eleven. Say, hey man, need you to use your phone. Oh, you can't use the phone. It's private phone. I said, okay, buddy, you need to use your phone. There's a dead guy in your planter. What? There's a dead guy in your planter out in front of your store. He was there at 7 o'clock this morning when I drove by. He's still there now. I don't know if he's dead at 7. I don't know if he died during the day, but he's out there now. So either you're calling the police right now or I'm using your phone to call the police. Because if you don't let me use your phone, you're obstructing justice. See how that works? So he lets me come around the back, call 911. The cops come. Only this time, it wasn't a 9-hour ordeal. It was El Monte PD. I think it was them. I can't remember. It was a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure it was them. They came out. Say, when did you first notice the guy? I said, 7 o'clock this morning. He said, 7 o'clock this morning? I said, yeah, I was on my way to work. I saw a guy lying in the street. I said, you see homeless people lying in the street all the time. I didn't think anything of it. I'm totally shocked that no one else checked it. When I was coming home from work and saw the same guy lying in exactly the same place, I kind of figured something was up. I never found out what happened to that kid. The cops agreed. He couldn't have been more than 16 or 17 years old. And he didn't look homeless. He was pretty clean cut. Nice short blonde hair, clean shirt, clean pants, wearing tennis shoes, curled up in kind of a fetal position on the other side of the wall. I kind of figured it was drugs, you know. Oh no! Oh wait! Hmm. Saved it. The third time. I don't know. It was more tragic than the first two. In a way, it is. This is when I was working at the happiest place on earth. Well, it was the 23rd of December. I was working part-time, a part-time shift. I was working a 6-hour shift, right? I started work at a quarter to 6, and I was getting off around 12:30, 1 o'clock. It was raining. It was raining pretty good. But by the end of the day, it had stopped raining, but it was still cold and damp out. So I met a buddy of mine from work. Uh, we had lunch together, and by this time, it was around 2 or 3. And in the winter it gets dark around 4:30. So I'm driving home down Brea Canyon, the same canyon I had the red light experience, but this time it was daytime, and there was quite a few people on the road. Well, I had just come out of the loneliest part of the canyon, and I was paralleling the 57 freeway. And up ahead, there's a sharp right turn. There's a 30 mile an hour sign, and you make a right turn. And when I looked up, there was like a Yukon, pretty new Yukon, facing the wrong direction off the side of the road, and had a flat tire, and there was a woman outside of the truck on a cell phone. I come around the corner, and to my left, facing me, up on the hillside, was a Toyota Tundra with its headlights on, run up against the hillside. So I stopped because the lady was shaking. You could see her shaking. I would say it was around 55 degrees. She just had a t-shirt and jeans on. And she's on the phone, and I said, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "I don't know. I'm on the phone with 911 right now, right?" I said, "Where's the guy from the truck?" "I don't know. I haven't been over there. Could you check to see if he's okay?" So I went over there. I walk across the street. I had the four-way flashers on in my Jeep and my whirly light. If you've seen my videos of the Jeep, I have a beacon on top of it because it was a civil defense vehicle. So there is this Tundra. The back end is up on the hillside and the front end is facing down. It's at a pretty steep angle. All the lights on in the truck. Doors locked. Can't find the guy. Can't find the guy. Right? By this time, 2 or 3 other cars have stopped. So here's this guy. He pulls up in a pickup truck and he stops. And he goes, "What happened?" I said, "Dude, I have no idea what happened. But I'm over here by this Tundra, and it's up on the hillside, and there's no driver. The doors are locked, right? And I don't see anybody around." And he says, "Did he walk off?" I said, "He could have. Maybe he didn't have cell phone. Maybe he went to find a phone. I don't know." Then I walk around the side of the truck, and I notice that there's a shoe on the ground. And I pick it up, and it's really clean. It's dry. It's not like it's been out in the rain, right? Had it been a discarded shoe and had been there all day, it would have been wet. So I go back to my truck and I get a flashlight. By this time, it's almost dark. And I said, "Okay, dude, I'm going to look under the truck." And he goes, "What for?" So I get down on my hands and knees, and this guy gets down on his hands and knees, and I shine a light on the truck, and there's the driver in a snarl under the truck. No shoes on. His head is facing towards the back of the bed. His feet are facing towards the front. And he's kind of in a, you know. I reach under there. I crawl in as far as I can. And I touch his ankle. Ice cold. So I pop out. Just then, the police arrive. Now, if you guys call 911 and are trying to get the cops out quickly, I had been there like 6 to 8 minutes before the cops showed up. That's how long this all transpired in. It seems longer because I'm talking about it. But when things are happening around you, I don't think I was there 10 minutes. That's how long. It was under 10 minutes, but that's how long it took the cops to show. One cop's talking to the lady, a female officer, a sheriff's officer is talking to the lady. Another sheriff walks up to me and says, "Where's the driver to the truck?" And me and this other guy look at him and say, "He's under the truck." And the cop is kind of like, "Start really?" I said, "Yeah." So he gets under there with his big flash, looks under there, and goes, "Okay." He looks at me and goes, "Did you check him?" "Ice cold." It's like, all right. So they asked us, "Did anybody see it?" No, I said, "The only person who saw it was the woman over there you're talking to already. I was after the fact. This guy was after the fact. There were all kinds of people who drove by, officer. That's what happened. But, I was the first person who actually stopped because I was concerned for the woman over there. Because she didn't look like she was in good shape. Right? So he told the guy with me to wait next to the car and told me to wait next to my car. And he says, "When you go next to your car, don't tell the lady." I said, "I'm not going to say nothing." I'm not going to say anything. So, anyway, I don't know what happened. I never found out what happened. It wasn't until after the cop told us we could all leave. And somebody had a really crappy Christmas. More than one person, I'm sure. Because this Tundra was pretty new. And this guy didn't appear to be that old, so I'm sure he had a family. I think about that a lot. And I'll tell you what I hope. I hope I never discover anything like that again. Now, this is kind of a downer Halloween, spooky story. And it's not really spooky. But here's what I'm going to do. If this ever happens to you, do the right thing and make the report. How many people drove by that woman and didn't stop? How many people drove by that kid and didn't stop? How many people were with that guy who walked off the edge of that cliff to his death and didn't even bother telling anybody? You could have made an anonymous call. "Hey, my friend fell off a cliff and I think he's dead, and this is where he is." They could have done that. No one would have known who made the phone call. My friends called me the Jessica Fletcher, the real life Jessica Fletcher. Wherever I go, somebody croaks, right? Which isn't true. But anyway, sorry to be such a downer. I didn't mean to be. But when you live long enough, all kinds of things happen to you in life. I know there's some of you guys out there watching this who've seen a lot worse than that. And you know who you are. Can't breathe coffee. Well, having a party now. I want to thank all you guys for joining me on Tales and Mysteries of the Mojave Patrol. I'm not going to have another video like this. But if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, like and subscribe, wherever it's going to be. Click the little bell, you know, do the little click for get notifications. I try to put a video up once a week. I'm going to have 3 videos this week because it's Halloween. And my next video will drop next Saturday, be part 2 of the Big Sandy shoot with my buddy June. If you're watching, June, miss you guys. Miss all you guys out there. And thanks for watching.
I bring you a warning. Every one of you listening to my voice, tell the world. Tell this to everybody wherever they are. Watch the skies everywhere. Keep looking. Keep watching the skies.